Scotland, a land of mountains, mist, and legend. A place where history was carved in stone, sung in ballads, and occasionally shouted across the battlefield. For centuries, Scotland has been home to warriors so fierce they made empires tremble. From ancient tribes to rebellious clans, the fighting spirit of Scotland has never truly faded. And perhaps, just perhaps, it still lives on today in a girl from Dundee. Our story begins nearly 2,000 years ago. The Caledonians, the original Scots, faced off against the mighty Roman Empire, fierce, painted, and fearless. They fought with primitive weapons and endless determination. So fierce, in fact, that the Romans eventually built Hadrian's Wall just to keep them out. And yeah, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly because I'm not Scottish. That's right, when the entire empire says, let's just build a giant wall and hope they stay on their side, you know you're dealing with serious warriors. Centuries later came legendary figures like William Wallace, the man who defied English rule in the late 13th century. At the Battle of Stirling Bridge, he used a clever tactic and sheer bravery to lead his forces to victory. Wallace became a symbol of resistance, a name whispered with pride and fear alike. And then came Robert the Bruce, the man who would eventually become King of Scots. But his journey wasn't easy. After suffering defeat after defeat, his forces scattered, his lands taken, and his reputation shattered. Bruce found himself hiding in a cold, damp cave somewhere in the Scottish wilderness. And there, legend says, he watched a tiny spider attempting to spin its web. Over and over, the spider tried to throw its threads across a gap, and over, it failed. 6 times it missed. 6 times it fell, but on the 7th attempt, it succeeded. Inspired, Bruce took the spider's persistence as a sign. If a spider could try 7 times to succeed, so could he. Reinvigorated, he rallied his supporters, rebuilt his army, and struck back. The lesson in patience and resilience would lead to his greatest victory, the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, where Bruce's forces, outnumbered by the English, crushed their enemies and secured Scotland's independence, at least for a while. The spider's thread became a symbol woven into Scotland's history. Never give up, no matter how many times you fall. Scotland's history isn't just about kings and battles, it's about the clans. Fiercely loyal to their families and lands, the Highlanders became legendary for their massive claymores, swords so large they required 2 hands to wield. Clan rivalries, cattle raids, and feuds were part of everyday life, and honor was everything. By the 18th century, after the Jacobite uprising, the Highland way of life was under threat. The English tried to suppress the Scottish culture, banning kilts, bagpipes, and even gatherings of clans. But rebellion was stitched into the fabric of Scotland. People adapted, they resisted quietly, and they never truly gave up their heritage. Whether standing on ancient battlefields or modern-day cities, the heart of Scottish warriors beats just as strongly today as it did 100 years ago. And that brings us to Dundee. In a modern city built on history, industry, and resilience, a single moment became a viral snapshot of Scotland's enduring spirit. A young woman, armed with nothing but a kitchen knife and an axe, stood her ground. The world laughed, the internet joked, but beneath the humor was something undeniably Scottish. Courage, defiance, and a touch of chaos. Because that's the thing about Scotland. Warriors don't always wear armor. Sometimes they wear hoodies. But the instinct is the same. When challenged, when threatened, when tested, Scots fight back. Scotland, where legends are born, history lives on, and Dundee proves, whether right or wrong, one thing is for sure, Scotland still breeds warriors.